Hey, welcome to Paisley Valley PaperCrafts. So I'm going to show you how to make an ephemera envelope out of a manila envelope. And these you can pick up at Walmart. I am going to be cutting off a couple of pieces here. So I'm going to cut off the bottom. That's got kind of an extra piece. I am going to hold on to this though. And then I'm going to measure. Some people say measure, some people say measure. I'm going to measure over to 9 inches because that's approximately how much, I'm going to get rid of this piece, how wide I want my envelope. So from here, I am going to cut open my envelope. I'm going to cut down the center, and then I'm going to open it on the inside, and I'm going to cut out this additional piece that was holding the envelope or folder envelope together. And so I'm going to get rid of my cutting tool. I have a elongated piece, and I'm just going to kind of swap it out here. So I've got an elongated piece of paper that I'm going to work with. It's going to be the front of my envelope. This is going to be the back. It's the insides, and this is going to be my flap. So I've gone ahead and cut some paper so that I can cover my envelope. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to put the color and the picture that I want on my envelope. I'm just going to put some glue. I use art glitter glue. And I'm just going to lay the front of my envelope onto my paper. Just going to kind of make sure that it's down. I've used a sunflower. I kind of feel like those represent the end of summer really well. So I'm just going to go along here. Glue that down. I usually glue a little bit better. For this piece, then I am going to go ahead and cut off the bottom because I'm going to be very careful not to cut my manila folder. And you just want to leave a little white space so that you know you're not cutting your folder. So that's the front of my envelope. I'm now going to grab my corresponding color. I just want to make sure that my paper sits in such a manner that it's not going to be upside down. And I'm going to go along this line right here with the glue, and then just kind of add a couple of additional lines. And let me just verify. Okay, I want it to go like this. Let's see, I just want to make sure this is the top. Yep. Okay. So I am going to come along here, and I'm going to glue my piece here. That way I know now. So this is my back, this is my front. I'm going to come along here, sorry, and I'm going to cut this as close to the manila folder, or I'm sorry, the manila envelope without actually cutting it. And the best way I can do it is I butt it up against gently the guide there, and it cuts it without actually cutting the manila material. So I've got my front and my back. Now I just want to put on my top And I'm just going to go ahead and glue this down as well. Whoop. Okay. And I generally use a significant amount more of glue, but I'm just using this small amount so that I can get my pieces on. Alright. So now I have my 3 pieces glued. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to cut the additional paper off that I don't need to have there. And what I have left is the 3 pieces of my envelope. Then I am ready to go ahead and finish up my envelope. This is the front. This is the back. I'm opening my flap up, and there's the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my flap, and I have a pair of scissors that I'm just going to cut my flap. And how I do this, I don't really measure. I basically just kind of eyeball that. I've got that. Then I bring this over here so I can get the same angle that I initially cut on the first side. And I follow that along. And therefore I kind of got the similar angle. My flap is going to be as such. Then I just come along here real quick with my, let me just glue that down real quick. It doesn't get what I would call funkified. There we go. So now I'm just going to cut off maybe a 1/2 of an inch off the top of the flap. I don't want my flap to be that long. I'm just going to cut off a tip there. And I don't know, I probably didn't use enough glue. I'm running out of glue here, so let's just get that down. Okay. So I'm ready to kind of pre-assemble my envelope. The only other thing that I want to do is I want to be able to see kind of inside my envelope with a little bit more ease. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go probably about an inch down. And I'm not going to start my cutting till about an inch in. So I'm an inch down and about an inch in. I'm holding my cutter up. Now I'm gently pushing down to start cutting. And I bring it down till I'm about an inch from this side of my envelope. Okay. So I am ready to pretty much complete my envelope. So I'm going to cut. I've got my slit there that you can see. I'm going to cut this at a slight angle. There we go. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to find the middle and I'm going to bend this over, and that is again so that I can get a similar angle and my two sides will look cohesive with one another. Okay. Pull that off. Now I'm going to glue up my sides. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and then I'm going to glue my sides up so that my envelope will now stay together. Alright, pushing down. So remember I said that I was going to keep that bottom piece off of the, that came off of the envelope. I go ahead, this is not it, but I did say I was going to keep it. And what I do with this is I glue this together so that I kind of have a strong piece. And then I take a piece of the corresponding paper and I'll glue it to this, to the piece that I've just glued, and I come up with a piece like this. It's strong, sturdy. So now I have my envelope, have my flap, but I want to be able to close my envelope and keep it closed with all my goodies inside. Say I'm going to go to a crop and I don't want my ephemera to fly all over the place. So I'm simply just, let me get that back in the camera, I'm simply setting an angle here, very similar to the side of my envelope. I'm going to cut off. Well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend this slightly. And again, just making sure that I have kind of a similar one on that side. It's not a big deal. If you don't get them exact, believe me, it's so much fun to just create, and not worry about having to measure. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue on this side, and I'm going to put some glue on that side, and I'm going to create an enclosure so that when I carry my ephemera envelope, I am able to use this slab there as a closure. Alright, and there you have your ephemera envelope. So just to let you know, I do have these made available already pre-cut for you in my Etsy store, and I'll put a link below. There are a couple of different patterns, but I know that for me, sometimes I get a little intimidated by trying things. So I will send along the pre-cut manila folder. I'll send along 3 corresponding scrapbook pages. And then I will also send a couple of manila folders along in the kit so that you can recreate and create a new envelope. So I hope you've enjoyed sitting in with me as I create this, create this ephemera envelope. And I hope you enjoyed junk journaling. Thanks for watching.